Minecraft 1.17 has everyone on edge, looking down at the caves below that need to be updated. The Nether update did marvelous things for Minecraft, setting the next update to be even more game-changing. From new biomes, new ores, new mobs, you name it, the possibilities are endless. My friends, my name is System Z, and this week we're diving deep into the caverns below in hopes of sharing new ideas for a potential 1.17 cave update. Starting with new features, like a depth meter to keep track of your below surface level, or even new ores like topaz and ruby. That being said, welcome to the first episode of A Week in the Caves. Let's get started. Hey you! Yes, you watching the video. If you haven't already, consider checking out Realm Origins, a new project I just recently announced. Welcome to the next generation of Minecraft multiplayer. For more information, check the description below. Trust me, you don't want to miss out. Caves in Minecraft have a lot of room and potential for a massive overhaul. From new generation, new biomes and blocks, you name it. A commonly overlooked part of this hypothetical update, however, is the addition of new items and mechanics to help your time spent in the caves be a little bit more interesting and adventurous. Today we're checking out a list of new ideas to do just that, starting with a lantern on a stick. Ow, that did not feel that great. Have you ever been deep into the caverns below the overworld in search of diamonds and all of the precious ores that wait for your mine? Well, the answer is yes, because if you play Minecraft, that is that's a pretty crucial part of the game. So, a lantern on a stick is something that I think would definitely come in handy in those situations. No more will you need to place torches along every wall, even if you're just visiting a cave that you never plan on returning to. My friends, this is the idea for a dynamic light source, known again as a lantern on a stick, which, as you could see, I can actually hold and then walk around and get the lighting from the lantern. This is something that I've wanted in the game for a very long time, and I've suggested it in various different ways, from a mining helmet to even just holding lanterns in general. But this is a very Minecraft style thing. I love the idea of actually having a lantern on a stick. That way you actually have to hold it in order to get the light source. I think it's definitely a little bit more challenging that way, especially if you have a shield and a weapon in one hand. It's going to be harder to do so. So I definitely think this is a great compromise right in the middle for an amazing feature that I think we could all agree would definitely help our time spent in the caves. But not quite as much as something as marvelous and wonderful as a rope. My friends, this is yet again another highly suggested feature for the cave update in Minecraft. Adding ropes to the game would be a great way to assist players in getting down into the caves below. Woo! Okay, thought I fell there. It's a little tricky to navigate, as you can see here. We are using a rope to navigate downwards and find these mysterious ores that we will check out here in just a moment. But as you can see, we actually have rope. This is something I've wanted in the game for a long time. I think it's also a great mechanic. You can imagine using this in redstone applications to actually pull up based on lever usage. You could pull up blocks or a platform or something of the sorts. I love the idea of having rope to also connect fences together like leads. Ropes have endless possibilities, and they're very useful. This is something that I think a cave update would definitely need in Minecraft. Now, as far as how you would get this item, I imagine it not being craftable, but more something you find as a loot in sort of, dungeon chest and maybe even shipwrecks. Anything where it would make sense that rope would be found. Now, if you do think, that didn't work. What I was gonna say is, if you do think it should be craftable, let me know on Twitter what recipe you think it could use. That being said, let's move on to the next one, which of course is none other than 3 new ores that would be in this cave update. Now, I do plan on doing a video all about new ores a little bit later this week, but these are actually really, really cool suggestions for a cave update. Now, what you see here in front of you are topaz, amethyst, and ruby, which can be crafted into very special items that you'll see if you stay tuned a little bit later in the video. For now, these are actually economic ores, just like emeralds. Now, the reason I think that these would be amazing is that each different biome in Minecraft could have their very own economic value. So deserts, for example, instead of emeralds, may want a topaz, as you could see here. I just love this idea because, simply put, we need variation. And then we've got amethyst, of course, which would be great for a taiga forest. Rubies, which would be great for mountains, although I guess emeralds are kind of the mountain one. Maybe plains, I don't know. But I love the idea of new ores in general, and ruby, amethyst, and topaz have been different ores that people have been wanting for a very long time, along with sapphire and similar ores. This is just one way to add it in a way that's not your standard pickaxe and tool progression system. I love this concept, and I cannot wait for you to see what you can craft with these. But first, we are in for a challenge. As you can see, we've got a spooky dungeon. No, it is not a transformed dungeon. I will be doing a video all about that a little bit later in the week. For now, we actually have a new item that would be found exclusively in the dungeon loot. And that, my friends, is a depth meter, which, as you can see here, is a tool very similar to that of a compass or clock that actually reveals your Y level. Now, I know what you're thinking, System Z, we already have F3 mode. Why would we need a depth meter? And truthfully, if Terraria does anything at showing how amazing this would be, it would come in handy and keep you from even having to use F3, which I think is kind of a debug cheaty tool anyways. So if we could make it more natural and have something that actually allowed us to display that level easy, I would love it. In fact, the way this could work is when you hover over it, it could simply say depth meter and then your depth value. I think this is a very simple item to add to the game and one that would definitely be effective. Now, I love F3 just as much as the next person, but honestly, something like this would be amazing. I love the idea of not having to use that, and maybe even maybe a compass could show your coordinates. Definitely makes sense, and that would be a much needed upgrade. Speaking of upgrades, do you remember that time when I showed you ruby, topaz, and amethyst? It feels like it was just a couple of minutes ago. Because it was, and we are back with brand new charms and artifacts. This is one of the coolest things that I think Minecraft definitely needs, especially in a cave update. And it would require that we actually have 3 new slots in our inventory just above the offhand. Now you can imagine the different items that would go in here would be something like a Totem of Undying, or even an Elytra so that you don't have to wear, an Elytra over where your chest plate would go. This is essentially a system to allow you to have an expanded charms inventory. And these are 3 new charms using the ores I showed a while ago that I would love to see in the game. So let's go ahead and get crafting. First and foremost, with our topaz, we can create a topaz ring, which would give us a very small haste boost when worn. Now I know what you're thinking, System Z, this would be really easy to obtain. Well, these ores would be a little bit more on the rare side, kind of like emeralds. They're gonna be a little bit tougher to find, seeing as you find them in exclusive biomes. But with the topaz ring worn, you can essentially get a boost of haste. And then, of course, next up, we've got a ruby scepter, which I challenge you to let me know what you think this would do in the comments below. Now, I've got a couple of ideas, but mainly it has to do with your strength. I love the idea that this gives you a slight strength boost, or even a regeneration boost, but that's kind of what the amethyst is for. This is an amethyst amulet, which essentially gives you protection and a boost in that. I love the concept of this, and maybe even magic abilities in the future, with new items that could add magic to Minecraft. These 3 items would be very cool to have. They're very similar to what mod packs like to add, and honestly, I think that's okay. I think Minecraft definitely needs to occasionally take something from mods, not necessarily steal it, but get inspired and add things that are similar, because clearly players love them. I would love to be able to put these in the inventory and wear them at all times, and it would also give us something to collect. Let me know what you think of these down in the comments below. Although no matter how many ores they do add to the game, diamonds will always be my bread and butter. Yes, we've got netherite, but it's nowhere near as shiny as the diamonds. Too bad they're pretty much worthless now. Oh hey, who is this? A Spelunker, a new mob. Now I know that this is all about features, items, and mechanics, so technically this is not the video for the Spelunker, but this is a new mob that I think would be an amazing feature for the caves. Imagine something like a wandering trader, except actually valuable, am I right? This would be a randomly occurring visit from a Spelunker who would trade cave items, anywhere from food to loot to tools that will help you in your adventure. But before we explore that, let me just go ahead and put these diamonds exactly where they belong. Now, as you can see here, the Spelunker features some pretty cool looking gear all together. You can definitely tell this guy has been in the mines. Now, this is actually the final 2 sets of ideas in this video. Simply put, there are a couple of different items that you would actually get from this Spelunker exclusively. Now, as you can see here, we've got the lantern, which of course can be used to craft a lantern on a stick. My favorite in the video, as you could tell. A dungeon map, which is something that I think would be amazing. Imagine being able to buy a dungeon map and essentially actually go on the surface and find a dungeon. I think that would definitely help find them, because sometimes they can be really difficult to find, not having found any since even defeating the Ender Dragon. The timing is definitely weird when it comes to dungeons. After that, you could maybe get rope, and then all of the new ores that I mentioned in the video, even existing ores like diamond, gold, even iron nuggets, for example. You could find chains. Basically, any item that you would find in a cave, I think that the Spelunker would definitely sell. Now, the question is, which ore would it actually want to buy, or at least sell for? I believe emerald. It's definitely still the standard. No matter what, you're gonna see the emerald as being the standard. The rest are all just for the different biomes. But hey, I don't know. Maybe where the Spelunker is, which biome you're in, could actually determine which ore he prefers. Look at that face. Oh, it's amazing. Well, that is basically gonna be it for all of these ideas. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Well, my friends, that is going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a thumbs up and consider subscribing and turning on notifications so that you're alerted whenever I next upload a video. Trust me, you're not gonna wanna miss any of them this week. We are doing a week in the caves where we talk about all sorts of new cave ideas. Anticipating for 1.17, Phil Ager cannot control his excitement, and neither can Phil. As you can see, Phil is happier than ever. I've never seen him this happy. He's so joyful. And then, of course, Dwayne is being Dwayne. You gotta love him for being a pet rock. I mean, what more could you ask for? What a wonderful pet. But like I said, that is gonna do it for today's video. I hope you did enjoy. My name has been System Z. You guys have been incredibly awesome. And let me know what you're looking forward to with Cave Week. What videos would you like to see first? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, make sure to follow my Twitter. You can send any fan art or ideas or any cool creations you've made there, and I will always see them. That being said, my name has been System Z. You guys have been awesome. Thanks for watching.